She took a series of very liberal positions in 2019 that she has moved away from since. They see that as an opportunity to basically just call her liberal over and over and over again. And Trump has been doing that. Trump has said that a number of times. It's going to a bunch of these places. Yeah. There has not been one single line that they have used against her, except for, I think it's dangerously liberal, is the tagline in the commercials, and that's where that
Are
goes.
they aware that there is a bit of a contradiction between those things? To paint her as the liberal of 2019, but then also the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris that's maybe more center-left?
Yeah, they don't have a thesis statement here in their column, so they don't actually really know what they're arguing about Kamala Harris, about the vice president. I thought the last sentence that she gave in the fracking answer was actually the best sentence of the entire answer. And if she had started that sentence and left it there, it would have been fine. She said, "I learned that if you grow the green economy without banning fracking." That's the answer. Right?
I learned, which is actually a really smart phrase, underutilized.
Hugely helpful.
In
yeah, and she did talk about traveling and listening to people and so on. I mean, that is something I think people can understand, but they also can understand that she's telling them, this is what my position is now. I don't know that the average voter is going to linger on this, but to your point, don't dash off the notion that this is an important issue in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania may decide this election, so that's why the Trump people are trying to focus on this issue, and that's why she was very, very.
And it's a tough
They're making an argument, Abby, that this is really all going to be about these fine policy questions. And I think the reality here is this is a change election. Kamala Harris is the face and voice of change. Donald Trump is an era that people are kind of exhausted with, and they're ready to move on. And maybe some of these things will matter in some discrete places, but really the reason why 44,000 people are getting on calls and thousands of people are showing up at events is because they want something new.
But you know what? It matters to people
The biggest problem for Democrats in the last two cycles has been largely that there is a sense in parts of America that there's a cultural antagonism against people who live in places where fracking is an issue that matters. So yes, it's about, whether or not, she cares about people like you, but I think this is a proxy for that.
I mean, it's thousands of jobs for people who live in Pennsylvania. And when you say that you support the Green New Deal, but you also support fracking, those two ideals are not consistent. The end result of supporting the Green New Deal is to end fossil fuels. You can't say I support this, but also, by the way, you can have your fracking too. And so for people in Pennsylvania, those skeptical folks that are in the middle, that 5% that may determine which way that state goes, they're going to look at that and they're going to say, well, is this political pandering? Is this political expediency? Is the vice president saying whatever she needs to say to potentially win, but she doesn't believe it? And we weren't clear. She did not give a clear or decisive answer in that regard.
I don't really think there's that many people who are going to be actually weighing whether they think that she has true convictions on these things or not. They're going to be weighing whether she can convince them that she is going to do enough to make their lives